Greetings ladies and gentlefish, and today I'm going to bring you a pair of games, both on this map, Hidden Village. This is the map that was introduced when the Japanese tech tree was introduced. So first game here, I am driving the M4A3E8, the Sherman Easy 8, Tier 6 American, medium tank. This is a tank that I had an awful lot of fun driving. When I originally ground through this bit of the American medium tank line, so much so that sometime later I decided to rebuy it because I remembered it being a damn lot of fun, and that is a decision that I have not regretted in the slightest. So, Tier 6 game, we're top tier, which is nice, but there are gonna be problems, as you are going to see. So what does the Easy 8 have going for it? Well, I do have a full tank review of this, if you want to go and check that out. Basically, this thing at Tier 6 gets alright, it's fairly mobile, it's fairly agile considering its size. So it gets respectable mobility. It gets a gun that some people consider a little bit lackluster. Basically it's the same gun, pretty much, as you get on the M4 Sherman at Tier 5, just got a sort of buffed accuracy, rate of fire, soft stats, things like that. The same alpha damage and penetration. Oh, hello Mr. Cromwell. But really this tank's selling point is the 12 degrees of gun depression, and yes, I did just bounce on a Cromwell, and no, I'm not really quite sure how, but you know, these things happen. ELC has decided to YOLO forwards. I'm not really sure why, but whatever. One more shot to polish that guy off, and good night, little tanky. Scoreline, however, reads 1-3. Yeah. Cromwell, 12 degrees of gun depression, there we go. Giving the Cromwell a very small target to shoot at. There's another one in. And if he does hit me, the turret front on this tank can get some bounces. It's not the sort of thing you should rely upon, but it can certainly happen. Put a shot into the T-34. I really should have aimed that shot at the Cromwell rather than the E2. That was a mistake, but there we go. So the equipment setup I'm using on this tank is a gun rammer, vert stab. It's one of the only Tier 6 tanks capable of using a vertical stabilizer, and I'm actually using vents. You could use optics or something on this tank, but I decided at the time I wanted to try out vents just to try and maximise the rate of fire. And there you can see the bounces on the turret front, and there's kill number 2. But you can see we have the only 2 kills on our team, and the scoreline is 2-5. This does not fill me full of happy thoughts. Oops, side of a jumbo, that's the other Tier 6 American medium tank. And it's the one that frankly plays a bit more like a pocket heavy. Now I'm aiming toward the rear of his tank because I'm hoping I can knock out his tracks, but I don't want to specifically aim for the tracks because the accuracy on this gun is not very good, and so a lot of the time the best you can hope for is to aim for centre of mass. Our team's pulled it back a little bit, and the scoreline now reads 4-6, which is not too shabby. So again, going to be using my 12 degrees of gun depression to try and poke over this ridgeline. Put a shot into the T-67 and somehow just damage his tracks, which is annoying, but he can't survive forever. Scoreline is now 6-8. Alas, they have broken through at E3, so they're going to be coming up behind us any moment. With that in mind, I decide to turn around and try to do something about it. Now we have to be very careful about that KV-2. If he's using the M10 howitzer, he can kill us in one shot. He is using the M10 howitzer, and that shot alas missed. Scoreline is 7-10. No, KV-2 is still looking down at me. I'm just using his silhouette to see which way his turret appears to be pointing, and it's at me, so I'm not going to pop up there. Panzer IV-H is coming down the hill in a rather dramatic fashion. Oh, he fires a HE shell into me. He fires his next shell. Fail miserably to penetrate that one. Take another hit. And one more to finish this guy off. No, he crashes. Goodbye, Mr. Chaffee. Scoreline is 9-13. There's only the two of us left, myself and this T-34. One shot into the Type 58, one more to kill him. That's kill number 5. T-34 has died. Cromwell over there. My gun lets me down and I miss the shot. One shot in. And they're all around me. This is really not good. Put a shot into that Chinook. Get tracked. I'm just trying to work this guy over. And the Cromwell nails me from behind. Yeah, it was one of those games and one of those teams where regardless of what you do, yeah, I don't know, they just seem to die around you. But I hope you could see that that was a pretty nice location to use for the Easy 8. Using that ridgeline, using a 12 degrees of gun depression, you can just pew 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 at people all day long. Alas, we couldn't quite turn it into a win, but there we go, c'est la vie. I don't just show wins on this channel, I will also show those painful defeats, quite happily. Well, never mind. So, as you can see, despite the fact that it was a defeat that actually ended up being an ace tanker in the Easy 8 Sherman, a bunch of little ribbons, fire for effect, bruiser and fighter I think that is, and high caliber. 28,000 credits and 1,816 experience. Let's look at that in more detail. And this is perhaps the most depressing screen or result of the entire thing. 5 kills, 816 base experience, 2,713 damage. I would have been happy, not ecstatic, but happy with that damage count in a tier 10 game in my M48 pattern, you know. 2,713 damage, and then look at the rest of the team. The next guy got less than a third of that. What you gonna do, eh? What you gonna do? Just, I mean, if you just look at that list for people who did at least as much damage as they have health, it's only the top 4 people on our team, you know, to get the Fire for Effect award. Everyone else, no. KV-85 did okay, but there were just some terrible performances there, absolutely terrible. Anyway, there we go. Looking at the enemy team, I mean, we did 2.5 times the amount of damage of people on the enemy team. I mean, yeah, that was painful, very painful. 41 shots fired, 33 hits, 26 penetrations. We received 12 hits, of which 4 did not penetrate, so there's that turret front coming into play. But bear in mind, some of that would have been the non-penetrating HE rounds from the Panzer IV toward the end. 9 targets damaged, 5 destroyed, 304 assistance damage. I wasn't expecting much assistance damage because, you know, our team wasn't very good. 310 damage blocked by armour. 28,000 credits, plus 3,000 for courageous resistance, gives 31,000, take off repair costs and ammo costs, 22,000 profit. With a regular account, with a premium account, that'd have gone up to 38,000. 816 base experience, add in the courageous resistance. For those that don't know, if you get a battle hero award, so like a Top Gun or in this case a high caliber or whatever, then you get the XP for the game as if you had won, essentially. So 816 base experience plus 452 from courageous resistance gives us a total of 1,268 on a defeat, which was enough for the ace tanker. What can you do, eh? Never mind. C'est la vie. Maybe better luck next time. Here's the second game of today, and as promised, we are once again on Hidden Village. This is a map that I actually don't like very much, but never mind. And we're in the KV-5, Tier 8 Soviet Premium Heavy Tank. Now the KV-5 is actually no longer available in the gift shop. It was replaced, or in the premium shop, it was replaced in the premium shop by the IS-6. But it occasionally comes around on in sort of special offers every now and again, and mine was actually bought for me by a clanmate, which was nice. And I do like this tank. I mean, I'm not going to claim it's great, but I have a lot of fun driving it. You know, it's kind of one of those slightly derpy tanks that, I don't know, along with the KV-2 and the TOG, driving it just makes me happy, regardless of how good it might be. Anyway, Hidden village. This time we are in we're spawned in the south rather than the north. And I'm in a heavy tank. I've got a huge amount of health. I've got good armour, but some big glaring weak spots. High DPM, if low penetration, and lowish alpha damage for a tier 8 heavy. And you can see the insults in chat are already flying. What are you going to do? Anyway, as I'm in a heavy tank, I am going to try and fight it out for the sort of heavy tank routes on this map. And one of my main problems with this map is that, you know, this bottom left corner is just dominated by a bleeding great mountain that you can't explore. You can't do anything with it. So it just chops off a good, what, fifth to a quarter of the map and resigns it to not playable. Now, there is also no artillery in this game, which, as a very slow-moving, heavily armoured tank, makes the KV-5 rather happy. And this video, frankly, is more going to be about never giving up. Hello, Mr. Lerva. Mr. Lerva! He puts a shot into me, but fails miserably to do any meaningful damage. With 167 pen, that's not a good shot. There's not really any point me taking it. I think I was actually tracked there, despite the fact that the bottom left panel isn't really showing any of that jazz. The Lerva eventually decides to back off, and that means, hello T150, you and I have the same gun, but mine has better soft stats and reloads much faster. No, that was never going to penetrate the Ferdinand. Wasted shot. Ah well, never mind. T34. Oh no, it was actually the Tiger P who picked up the kill on the Ferdinand, so T34 didn't roll high. But if you've seen the scoreline, it's 2-7 in less than 3 minutes. The village is completely gone. The enemy team have just killed everyone there. And that's a bit of a shame. Side armour of the Lerva, I'm actually going to aim for the track to try and track this guy. It failed miserably to damage him as well, which is a little bit sad, but there we go. I'll keep him tracked there and see if I can pick up assistance damage into the bargain. And Lerva is dead. Now at this point the scoreline is 4-9. So, it's decision time. What do you do? The enemy have clearly won the village, and they are clearly going to be streaming toward our base. If you push on toward the enemy cap circle, you have lost. Because they will be at your base first. So, you have to go back to defend your base if you're intending to win this. Any other action is just inflating and padding your own statistics, like damage, but it's not actually doing anything to help your team win the game. Yeah, and you can see, oh my word, they have lined up a veritable execution squad at G7 to stop us from getting to our base. So, again, decision time. There are two options here. Realistic. Well, there are three options. One, we could just sit here on this corner all day, poking out, taking a shot and pulling back. That will give us more damage. Thus, it will inflate our WN8. It will give us more WN8, and if you're into padding stats, you might choose that option. But and it would give you experience, it would give you credits, but it wouldn't give you a win. Because the enemy would just cap and win that way. So that's, in my opinion, a poor option. Option B, you could try and flank around them, but they're going to have a lot of friends in the city itself, and so that's probably just going to get you shot to all hell. C, you could just drive in a suicidal fashion towards your own base and hope that your armour is good enough. Now, this is not an optimal solution, but I'm in a KV-5. KV-5 has ridiculous armour, apart from where the weak spots, and so I'm just going to do that. And we even pick up a kill on the T44 into the bargain. And you'll notice that, well, I've now moved across. I've still got just under 1400 health left. Most of these guys' shots bounced, and there's a KV-85. There's a shot into him. He's not the only one in the enemy base. Now that shot, I believe, also tracked me. So I repair the track, and I need to go and bully this A44. This guy needs to die, but I judge that I have enough time to deal with him, and I don't want to take shots in the flank from a KV-85. So, going around to dealing with the A44 now. The KV-85 does put one shot into my rear or side, which is slightly suboptimal, but I really wanted to get the reset on the A44. And he nudges into me. Doesn't do that much damage. KV-85 is coming around the corner of that building. He bounces. I'm just going to go around and casually kill this guy. Goodbye. And now that leaves the A44. And you'll actually notice the A44 does not have the top gun, and we are going to tank this with our bum. And yes, he can carousel around a KV-5 without too much difficulty. Trying to turn the turret and the tracks in the same direction. He takes out my tracks, I take out his. He sits here and tries to plink my weak spot on the front. I put another shot into him to take out his track. And I believe, despite what the damage panel says, I am still tracked here, and then I kill him. So this was actually 1 versus 5 at one point, just before I killed that A44. Remaining on the enemy team are an STA-1, T-29, another A44, and a T-37. Alright, so let's not hang around where we were last spotted, because those guys can just swarm toward me and kill me, and I have been spotted, which is a problem. Now, you are about to see one of the big problems of the KV-5. I'm taking shots in the side. Oh, hello little T-37. How are you today? Kill number 4. One of the big problems of the KV-85 is that it really struggles against somebody who knows what they're doing. Because, looking at the front of this tank, that on the right hand side, the R2-D2 turret, is a weak spot. And alas, the T-29 knows what he's doing. He puts a shot into that little machine gun port on the top of my tank. You can see this thing is littered with weak spots. But that's to make up for the fact that it has 150 armour on the rear, and it just gets thicker from there onwards, unless you're referring to the weak spots. Yeah, kinda awkward. So, he's put one shot into me. I put a shot into him, trying to back off. He knows what he's doing. I tried to wiggle there. He put another shot into me. Now, he has higher alpha damage. I have a better rate of fire. What I need to be doing is going over there to kill him in the face. I see there's a medium tank behind me. I can't let that medium tank stay behind me. I have to move forward to kill this T-29. Medium tank behind me is an STA-1. He has fired. I'm trying to just go after the T-1. I was going to try and ram the guy. I had to close the distance. I had to not give the T-29 time to reload. I had to try and use my higher rate of fire in that situation, but it was always going to be awkward as soon as that medium tank came up behind me, and if the medium tank had any brains, he always was going to come up behind me, and alas, the T-29 knew where to shoot. There wasn't much I could do. So, it was another defeat. But we had a much better game for having gone back to our base. We gave our team a chance. In the end, we weren't able to win it for them, but we gave our team a chance. If we hadn't tried to defend our base, we would have just thrown the game away anyway. And we had a much better result than we would have done, and a much more fun game than we would have done by just sitting on that corner, peeking out around, taking a shot, pulling back and accepting defeat as inevitable. Well, I said maybe better luck next time, and as you can see, and as you knew, maybe not. So that was enough for a first class mastery, defender and high caliber medals and a bunch of little ribbons. 64,500 credits and 788 base experience. Looking at it in slightly more detail, again, we were easily the top of our team on damage. In fact, we were easily the top in the game on damage. 4 kills, 788 base experience. In fact, if you really look at how much damage people did, Tiger P did alright. The T-34 did okay, if not spectacularly. The Ferdinand really should have done more. The other T-34, again, he did alright. And everyone else basically sucked. Ah well, c'est la vie. T-29 on the enemy team did well. What I didn't realise... oh no, sorry, not relevant. I was thinking the T-29 and the STA were platooned, but they weren't. So, big shout out in particular to the T-29 and the STA-1 on the enemy team for managing to polish me off in the end. 3,770 damage, which was a good result, but kind of highlights how much damage I did in the Sherman, the fact that I was only 1,000 less, and it's 2 tiers lower. But there we go, never mind. 21 shots fired, 20 hits, 14 pens, for 3.7k damage. Now, 4,320 blocked by armour. Add in the damage I did, and you're up to 9,000, 9,000-ish. Add in my own health, you're up to 10 and a bit thousand. So, this would have completed Heavy Tank Mission 15 for the Stug, for the T-28, and I don't know the exact criteria, but probably for the T-55 as well. So, you know, this was a good game. 8 vehicles damaged, 4 destroyed, 100 cap points, sorry, defense points. With a standard account, we made 56,000 credit profit after you take away ammunition and repair costs. With a premium account, that would have been 92,000 credits profit on a defeat. 788 base experience, plus the courageous resistance, 442, plus you get a bonus for being a premium vehicle of a particular tier, total of 1,353, which was my first class. So, there we go. I hope you guys enjoyed that pair of replays or pair of games, take your pick. Even if I couldn't quite pull a win out of the bag. It was on a map that I don't particularly like, but it was driving a pair of tanks that I do quite like, so I'm glad they were able to have a good role, despite not quite being able to pull victory from the jaws of defeat. So I hope you guys enjoyed those games. If you did, please feel free to catch some of my other videos and or subscribe to my channel, and I wish you very happy hunting on that battlefield. Ciao ciao.